Here's why some investors never run out of buying power and others get stuck at one deal. The difference isn't luck, it's understanding the numbers before you buy. I'm Stevie Riffenberg. I'm a realtor here in the greater Chattanooga area, and I focus on strategy side of real estate, especially where financial decisions really matter. Today we're talking about the BRRRR Method. You hear it everywhere online, but what doesn't get talked about enough is who it actually works for and who should probably skip it. BRRRR is about recycling capital, not buying as many properties as you can. BRRRR stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. With this method, your goal is to recycle your capital instead of consistently bringing in new cash. You're creating equity through forced appreciation, not waiting on the market to save you. The work you put in up front is what allows you to pull your capital back out later and keep it moving. The BRRRR strategy works because you're being intentional with timing and numbers, not relying on luck. In short, BRRRR is about using strategy and timing to keep your money moving instead of getting stuck in one property. Here's a simple example. You buy a property for $150,000. You put $30,000 into renovations and it appraises at $250,000. If the refinance supports it, you can pull most of your original capital back out without selling the property. That's the appeal. Your money doesn't get stuck, but here's where people get tripped up. BRRRR only works when several things line up at the same time. First, you need to buy with margin, typically 20 to 40% below market value. Without that margin, there's nothing to recycle. Second, your total cost matters more than your purchase price. Purchase plus rehab should generally stay around 70% of ARV, which is your after repair value. That's where a lot of people miscalculate. And third, the appraisal has to support the refinance. If it doesn't appraise, this strategy stops. And fourth, the rent has to comfortably cover the new loan. Most investors aim for solid monthly cash flow, not thin margins that leave no room for error. BRRRR doesn't leave room for guesswork. I worked with a client who used this strategy early on. He wasn't trying to flip 10 properties. He just wanted long-term stability. We focused on one property at a time, stayed conservative with numbers, and made sure every refinance left him with breathing room. No pressure. Today, that strategy gives his family consistent income, flexibility with work, and options, not stress. BRRRR works best for investors who are patient, numbers-driven, and focused on long-term buying power. It's not a good fit if you don't have cash reserves, aren't comfortable with renovation, or need quick hands-off returns. And that's okay. If you remember 3 things from this video, first, BRRRR is about recycling capital, not rushing growth. Second, the numbers have to work before you buy. And third, the strategy only works if it fits your real situation. A smart strategy isn't about doing what everyone else is doing. It's about doing what makes sense for you. And this is exactly why education comes first and the rest follows. Clarity beats chaos. If you're an investor or thinking about becoming one, subscribe for more strategy-first real estate guidance. And if you're considering a purchase or sale, talk to me early. One conversation can protect a lot of equity.